Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. May is my favorite month. I live in Michigan, and unfortunately, the weather kind of sucks here, in my opinion, and May is the first month where it kind of actually feels warm, and my mental health actually improves. I don't think I realized it until a few years ago, but I suffer with seasonal depression, and so May is kind of the first month where I start to come out of my shell and the sun is out on a consistent basis a little more around here. And so I feel a little happier in May, along with the fact that it's Mother's Day. My husband and I celebrate our anniversary this month. It's my birthday month. So it's kind of a big deal. Also, May is mental health month. And so there's a big focus around mental health. Actually, in general, I feel like mental health has kind of taken over the social media space, thank God. And it's just it's a very well-known, commonly talked about subject, and May is mental health month. So I wanted to be sure to at least dedicate this episode to that topic. And I feel like, honestly, up until this year, I wouldn't have been able to talk in as far as like my own experience. I wouldn't have been able to put my own experience in relation to mental health month. It wouldn't have meant so much to me, except that this past year and a half has been really big for me as far as my own mental health. So I'm actually really proud. I feel like if I would have dedicated, of course I could have given you knowledge and tips and, done some research on the internet, talked to friends, things like that. But I've personally struggled with my mental health my entire life. I would, I guess, beg to say that we all have. But if someone would have said that to me a few years ago, I would have been like, no, I don't struggle with my mental health. I'm fine. But that was not true. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like I genuinely can be authentic in speaking in this episode to you about how important mental health is and how it is equally as important as physical health. And I just don't know that I would have believed that, or at least I didn't have that experience for myself up until more recent years. So I always want to talk about things authentically. If I don't know that much about a topic, or I guess if I don't feel like I can be authentic and honest and raw about it, then I honestly just don't want to talk about it, or at least want to say like, I haven't personally been through this. So, here's my take on it, but take that kind of for what you will. But in this episode, I feel like I genuinely can give my experiences, and I'm actually speaking from my heart, from my soul in this. And also I've seen a lot of my clients go through some mental struggles over the past few years as well. And so I think since 2020, COVID and all of that, I think mental health has just become something we've taken a lot more seriously. I think it brought a lot of things for me to the forefront of my mind, and a lot of things that I had to deal with that I've probably been putting off for a really long time. And so the last few years for me have been really, really hard. And so I'm excited to talk about that in this episode. This may or may not relate. I think you will. So I hope you stay tuned, but I'm going to kind of be talking about it in a little bit of a different light, as I do with most topics. So I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really excited to talk about this subject. So like I said, mental health is so freaking important. It's just as important as physical health, if not more important. And like I said, I'll be the first to admit that I didn't pay much attention to that concept, or I at least didn't acknowledge that or put effort into my own mental health. I'm not a 100% sure which one of those would ring true, but it wasn't until I crashed, hit rock bottom, like I said, those things came to the surface. Things came to the surface for me that I finally had to deal with, more like depression, anxiety, real things that I had shoved down and didn't want to deal with and even forgot that they were there for so many years that it all just came kind of crashing down. And I just don't think that I knew any better. Honestly, I focused so much on my physical, not my physical appearance, but my physical health. And it wasn't until that I crashed mentally, I also crashed physically. And that is when I fully realized authentically that mental health and physical health are 100% related. So I firmly believe that I focused so much on my physical health that my mental health probably suffered. Maybe I did that on purpose, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but I would say like my gym time is like my therapy. Like, this is my therapy time. I'm working on myself out here in the gym, but that's it. It was not the same. But I think I used to say things like that. I know I used to say things like that, and I didn't know any better because I hadn't allowed myself to actually struggle mentally. And so it wasn't necessarily on purpose to ignore my mental health. It was just because I didn't know any better. I thought I didn't struggle with that. So I genuinely can say now that when mentally I'm struggling, and I think I'm just a lot more self-aware. And if you allow yourself to be self-aware, I can notice now that when I'm feeling off mentally, it causes me to not want to work out. It causes me to not want to eat healthy or eat at all. And then, that makes me feel guilty. And then that makes me struggle even more mentally. So it's like this cycle. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast and with a lot of my clients that we can get into. And so I know that they go hand in hand. And that's, of course, what I want to relate. Mental health on its own is a huge situation. It's a huge deal. It's a huge thing, and it's so important. But of course, I'm going to relate this to your health and fitness because I'm here to unfuck your fitness. So we're going to relate it to that. I thought that, like I was saying, saying I put myself first, how do I want to say this? I worked out every single day from when my kids were little. And I thought saying things like, yeah, I put myself first because I work out every day and I eat healthy. And I do tell my kids from a very young age, I told them that like, this is my workout time. I'm going to go to the garage or I'm going to go to our workout room, wherever we lived. And, please don't bother me if you can for a while. Like, this is my time. This is mommy's time. And so I thought, and I would say like, I put myself first. And as a mom, you have to put yourself first. And I set aside time to work out. And that meant that I was really focusing on myself. And I was physically, but that's not necessarily true that I was putting myself first or I was focusing on myself fully. And so I think that's the first thing that I really want to talk about is that putting yourself first and getting a workout in is completely different than working on your mental health. So I want to come out and say your workouts are not your therapy sessions. This is what I used to say. Like I said, I would say like my workouts are my therapy sessions. This is my therapy. The gym is my happy place. And it is, but working out is not your therapy. That is a very reckless, and I say that from experience, thing to say. Now that I have been in therapy, which I just hadn't been until it's been 1.5 years now that I've been in some sort of therapy. And yes, the gym is therapeutic. Yes, it's healthy. It's good for your mental health. It's definitely my happy place. And I do work on myself a lot. I overcome things. I think I can't lift this heavy, and I do, and I'm proud of myself. And I get stronger physically, and I do get stronger somewhat mentally. Working out will make you stronger mentally, and it's very, very good for you, but it is not a replacement for therapy. It's just not the same thing. And so if you are someone that says, working out is my therapy, I don't need to go to therapy, working out is my therapy, I go to the gym, I challenge you to really take a look inside. And maybe I'm hoping for me that the gym gets to be, I'm hoping that someday, just for myself as a goal, I'm hoping to get to a place where I don't have to go to therapy maybe as often. I think I will always go, and there is nothing wrong with that. I hope that my workouts become more therapeutic for me, I guess. Not ever a replacement for my therapy sessions with my therapist. But right now, it's really hard for me to work out. I don't enjoy it right now. I don't want to work on myself physically. I'm just coming out of a funk, we'll say, with my mental health. And so I do personally hope that, so if you've ever been in the place where you just don't want to work out, you used to love working out, you don't so much like it anymore, you don't know what's going on, that's kind of where I'm at. And I want to get to a place again where my gym time is therapeutic. I look forward to it. It's my happy place again, because right now I just am kind of going through the motions. So that's one thing I want to say is workouts are not the same as a therapy session. So I'm busting the myth that working out is your therapy. It is therapeutic. It is good for you. It is all the things that I mentioned. It is not therapy. And I genuinely thought that, like, yeah, I do a lot of work on myself out here. I think about my day. I think about things going on in my life when I'm at the gym. I work through them. I come out of the gym a happier person. Yes. But once I started therapy, I realized they are completely different things, and both are very, very necessary. So if you are actually struggling with your mental health, the gym is not going to be enough. I challenge you to get into therapy. That's the first thing that I want to talk about. Second thing I want to talk about is your all or nothing mindset, or the perfection mindset that you have. That is hurting your mental state. Not only is it not good for you in general, and I know that I talk a lot about, like, get out of that all or nothing mindset, right? Get out of that perfection mindset. Just focus on consistency. I say that a lot because it's true, but I noticed a huge improvement as far as my health and fitness journey, as far as my body. When I stopped living in that all or nothing or perfection mindset, I realized that it was doing a number. It was doing damage to my mental state. And it's time to realize that that mindset is, not only is it not working, literally you're not getting anywhere with your diet or your workouts if you're in that all or nothing perfection mindset, and it never will. It's not working, and it never will. Realize, and most importantly, accept that you cannot be perfect. You cannot cut foods out that you love. You will miss workouts. You will fuck up. You literally cannot go your entire life without eating foods you love. If I try to cut out Oreos, I don't think we realize how damaging it is, but for me, it's like, if I try to cut out Oreos, and I know that sounds silly, stick with me. I try to cut that out and I think, okay, I really need to give these up for the rest of my life. It's fine. I don't need Oreos. I can live without Oreos. Literally, yes, I can live technically without Oreos. But what that's doing to me is really causing me to have a bad relationship with Oreos / sugar / quote unquote bad foods. And once I cut that off and think that, no, I'm not having that forever, if I have it again, then I feel like a failure. Then I feel like I failed. I feel like a loser. And in my mind, my mental state goes to, now you're a loser. You can't stick to any of your goals. You lie to yourself all the time. It defeats my confidence. And so it does a lot more damage than it does good to us in general. So not only for your health and fitness do I want you to not live in that all or nothing or perfection mindset, but it's hurting your mental state. It's not doing any good for you in that sense at all. So you cannot be perfect. You will miss workouts. You will have foods you say that you're not going to have. You shouldn't say that in the first place. Like I said, you will fuck up, and it's fine. So just kind of accept that. The sooner you realize this, not only will you benefit physically, but you will benefit mentally as well, because when you are living in a less stressed state of mind, state of being, your body is less stressed, and then you'll have a better relationship with food, with your body, with health and fitness, and that only pays off mentally and physically. And if you are doing better physically, then you'll be doing better mentally. They play hand in hand. If you're constantly living in a state of stress and feeling like a loser and feeling like you failed and you suck, that's only going to wreak havoc on Literally a state of stress will cause your adrenals to not function properly, your hormones to not function properly, and then your body just isn't functioning optimally. So it has a lot of side effects that are so important, more so than just saying like, oh, I'm trying to be perfect, or that all or nothing mindset, or I can't fall off track on the weekends. Like last week's episode, it's all way more serious than we think it is just on that surface level. So that's really, really important as well. The next thing I want to talk about is giving up the control. So much of our health and fitness journey, and even mental, I've heard the quote of, if you are feeling anxious, it means that you have stopped living in the present, that you're always focusing on what's next, or what's coming, or the future, or what you can't control. And so it's like getting back to giving up a little bit of that control. Focusing on the moment has been so helpful for me to lessen my anxiety around in life in general, around everything, my friendships, relationships, my parenting style, the condition of my home, if it's messy or not, my health and fitness journey. So stop trying to control the outcome and the results and literally every single thing all day long when it comes to your health and fitness journey. This is affecting you more mentally than you realize. Stop focusing on the results and instead focus on the changes that you need to make to get those results. That's where you need to be focusing. That is where the magic happens. Also, stop obsessing over the scale. You literally cannot control the scale. That is damaging your mental health for sure. It is an actual literal representation of, your gravitational pull towards the earth. It is the number that your body weighs. It's not your worth. It fluctuates daily. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, stay away from the scale. I say that kind of joking, but seriously, if it affects your entire day, and if you're getting on the scale in the morning and if you haven't lost a pound, or if you've stayed the same, or if you've gained any weight and you freak out and it affects your whole day, and it affects what you eat and what you drink and what you say and how you feel, and whether or not you go out with your friends that night, like it affects your life if you try to control your entire journey, but especially that scale. Get rid of it and just focus on the things that you can control. Give up control of the things that you can't, like the scale and building muscle quickly and things like that, and control only what you can. Control only the moment. And that helps so much with overthinking and anxiety. And once I gave up on not looking a certain way, I still want to look a certain way, I still want to feel a certain way, but I gave up on controlling that completely and thinking that every single day had to be perfect or I would never look how I wanted to. That is simply not true. Once I gave that control up, it became so much easier to do the things that I needed to do every day, along with getting the results that I wanted. The results came so much easier when I gave up that control and just tried to enjoy the process. And so giving up control is huge for your mental health, and it's also huge for your health and fitness journey. The last thing I want to talk about is a conversation that I had with one of my clients actually today. It worked out really well. So I was creating the notes for this podcast, and so I'm just kind of, of course, mentally going down this journey of my own journey, I guess, into my own, health and fitness, like what that looked like over the years. And then I also was going into different struggles that I checked in with my clients this morning, of course. And so I had their struggles on my mind as well, and different things that they're struggling with. And it can really get me thinking. For one, I'm an empath, so sometimes it can hit me pretty hard when my clients are really, really struggling and feeling like their self-worth is less than because of the number on the scale, or for different reasons, if they can't stick to a program. And I can feel that in their message or in their voice. If they sent me a voice memo, or if we're talking on the phone, I can really feel that. But I was really focusing on one of my clients was messaging me in this moment, and she was talking about different things in her own journey, and she's just kind of getting started. She's a few months in, but she has already grown so much, and she thanks me all the time because of the podcast. She says that she's grown so much from listening to the show, which I love so much. And it just really fuels me to know that. And so we were talking back and forth, and I told her, I'm like, probably going to talk about this on the podcast, but your health and fitness journey is absolutely huge. And the way that you approach your health and fitness journey can have an either good or bad effect on your mental health. And I've seen this happen a lot of times. It's interesting because the journey will change you, but it will be in ways that you least expect. You will start your health and fitness journey wanting to be skinny, and you'll focus on that number on the scale, and you'll focus on your macros, and you'll focus on all these very, very tangible things. And you will think that if you're not perfect, you won't see results. You won't be perfect. You'll think you're a loser. You'll want to quit, right? All of those things that can send you into this really bad place mentally, honestly, if you're that involved, and it can take over your life. And that's happened to me in my health and fitness journey, and it's happened to a lot of my ladies. So if you stick with it, weighing less will not make you happy, and you'll realize that. And you will find that the happiness comes in fixing your relationship, or I should say improving your relationship with food, and improving your relationship with exercise, and improving your relationship with movement and your body, and really kind of accepting the journey. And so I want to talk about that as well, because health and fitness, I think we look at sometimes as like this separate thing, as like, you go to work and you have a family and you have your home and like everything that you do during the day. And then it's like health and fitness. While it does consume our day and it consumes our lives and our minds, sometimes we also look at it as like a separate thing. When in reality, if we embrace our health and fitness journey, it can be done in a way that is very improving to our lives and to our mental health in general. And honestly, your health is the foundation of your life. Your health is literally your body, and you don't have a life without your body. So your health and fitness should be something that you take seriously as far as making it a lifestyle and doing it in a healthy way. And that's really hard to do in this society where it's become look a certain way and, edit this and filters here and comparing. But when you slow it down and look at it in the way that I do, in the way that I teach my ladies, like I said, weighing less won't make you happy. If you are unhappy at, 250 pounds, you will still be unhappy emotionally, mentally at 150 pounds. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change you to your core. But if you do it the right way, it can improve your mental state. It can improve who you are, in the sense that you will grow along the way. You will grow to trust yourself in this journey. You will grow to give yourself grace. You will grow to really trust that you do know how to do this. You do have the tools and you can do this, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to have bad days, and it's okay to struggle. It's okay to suck. It's okay to be sick, and it's okay to, focus on your kids instead of working out one day. It's okay to do this slowly and do it the right way, slow and steady, rather than basically killing yourself and, thinking you're a loser in the process. And so a lot of my ladies go through struggles in this journey, and they come to me and think that it's a fail. And, they're like, I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm losing weight, and I'm questioning, maybe I've always been overweight. And so now I'm losing weight and I'm becoming physically a different person. So when I look in the mirror, I'm not myself anymore. Or there's just so many different things, right? Insert anything that you've gone through in this health and fitness journey, any struggle that you've had. Someone else has also had that struggle, and it's okay. That's a part of the journey. So when you have bad days, when you don't want to go to the gym, when you go to the gym and you cry through your workouts, this is my own experience, when you self-sabotage, and this is me as well, I will say like, okay, it's time to work out. And then I will say things like, well, you're not really you're not really going to get a good workout in because you didn't sleep well, or you didn't eat well, or you're not worth it, or you're having a bad day. So what's the point of working out? You will have those moments where you do look in the mirror and you don't know who you are and you don't like yourself and it's not going fast enough. But if you embrace that and realize that you are changing and you are growing, and yeah, maybe you started this journey to become skinny and maybe you're not there yet, but focus on the things that you are learning and that you are doing, and you're becoming stronger and you're eating more and you're more aware and you're learning to give yourself grace and you're gaining confidence and you feel better. And if someone asks you what you're doing in your workout plan, like, how are you, you look so good, what are you doing? And you're able to tell them about macros and about your workouts and about how you feel, that is all progress. That's all progress. And so detaching the scale from your worth, and also detaching your health and fitness and how quickly you reach your goals, detaching that from your worth, detaching that from success is really, really important too. And so I just wanted to touch on that because I talk to this a lot with my ladies. I think so many times we're afraid of failure. We don't think we can do it, or maybe we just don't even want to give it the time that it takes. And so we focus on other things that, kind of take away from the real work. We focus on the things that don't matter instead of focusing on the things that matter because it's scary. And that's kind of what we've been trained to do and what we're used to. But I just really want to challenge you to embrace this process from a healthy standpoint and realize that if you do that, you embrace the process, you start to enjoy it and just really understand that it is a lot mental and it is a lot of physical and it goes together. And if you do it the right way, you can come out on top. And not only does this happen when you are losing weight or you're a beginner in the process, this is still happening to me, right? 14 years later, I am still struggling with working out sometimes, and I struggle with a lot of things in my life. The struggles will always be there, but your health and fitness being the basis of your body and the basis of your life, it can teach you a lot if you look at the journey with an optimistic view. You can learn a lot about your confidence and about your strength, and it really does relay and go into your mental health journey as well. It's all weaved together. So I say all that, and I want to remind you that this is a really, really good thing because you are in control ultimately of your health. And so this is a good thing. I want you to look at this as something that's amazing. Like, you can take control and start to look at things differently. This is all you. This is something that you can control and take control of. And there's not many things in our life that we can actually take control of. And your health and fitness and your physical being and your mental health is all something that you can control. And it takes time, it takes consistency, and you may have to get some help, and there's no shame in that. And it is a very good thing. So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed being able to talk to you about it and give you my thoughts and my authentic view of all of this. This is basically the basis of what I do, why I do it, and what I teach. Everything else is just kind of the icing on the cake. So if you did enjoy this episode and if it helped you and you think it would help a friend of yours, please be sure to share it with them. Tag me on social media, reach out via email, or find me on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. If you are needing help in your journey, you can go to christycastillo.com and click on see all my workout programs. I would love to work with you and help you along in your journey. And I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.